this episode, we're going to look at a piece of Transformer technology that every bot wants to get their hands on. An invincible suit of power-enhancing armor that makes anyone wearing it a force to be reckoned with. Suit up for the basics on the Apex Armor. Though it's only become well known since the 2010s, the story behind the Apex Armor starts in 1988. This year, Hasbro released Power Master Optimus Prime, the first brand new toy of Optimus since his original figure was discontinued 2 years earlier. But when Hasbro's Japanese partner, Takara, released the toy in their markets, they reimagined it as a totally different character, Ginry, a new Autobot who just looked like the legendary leader. The Ginry toy was supplemented by a Japanese exclusive figure named Godbomber, an Autobot drone that transformed into a trailer Ginry could tow. Godbomber could also disassemble into armor pieces that combined with Ginry and powered him up into God Ginrai, enhancing his strength, speed and firepower and granting him the ability to fly. Godbomber was featured in the Japanese original animated series Super God Masterforce, in which he was built on Earth by the Autobots in order to power up Ginry so that he could intercept Decepticon reinforcements approaching the planet from space. Godbomber possessed no life of his own. He was essentially an extension of Ginry, remotely connected to him and powered by energy drawn from his body. In times of need, though, it was also possible for the Autobots' 3 young human allies, Shuta, Cab, and Minerva, to take control of Godbomber and pilot him in vehicle or robot mode by combining their energies together. Ginry and Godbomber were also featured in the next series, 1989's Transformers Victory, though they only ever appeared combined together as God Ginry. In the final act of this series, when God Ginry was fatally wounded, the combined pair were rebuilt into a single new robot, Victory Leo. So what does all this have to do with the Apex Armor? Well, in 2003, the Godbomber toy was finally released in Hasbro markets for the first time as part of the commemorative series of reissues, sold in a 2-pack with the Ginry toy. But for this release, Hasbro rebranded Ginry back to being Optimus Prime and reworked Godbomber into a new character, a new version of Prime's original partner drone Roller named Apex Bomber, whose combination with Optimus was named the Apex Armor. Now, neither Apex Bomber nor Optimus Prime's Apex Armor have appeared in any actual media to date, but they did serve as inspiration for IDW Publishing's 2007 comic book, Megatron Origin, in which Optimus Prime's predecessor, Sentinel Prime, donned his own unique suit of Apex Armor to battle Megatron. But even with this additional reinforcement, Sentinel was no match for the Decepticon leader, who tore the armor from his body and turned it into his personal throne. The version of the Apex Armor that would become more well-known was the very different take on the idea featured in the Aligned continuity, a multimedia project of interconnected series and stories that ran throughout the 2010s. In this universe, rather than be formed from a separate drone transformer, the armor took the form of a chest plate, which, when donned, would unfold and expand to fully cover the body of its wearer, no matter their size or shape, forming a huge hulking exosuit that enhanced the wearer's strength and made them impervious to harm. The aligned version of the armor was first mentioned in the 2011 novel Exiles, then appeared in full the following year in the Transformers Prime animated series. As seen in Prime, it was one of many relics and weapons stored in the Autobots' Hall of Records on Cybertron, which were launched into space during the war to put them beyond the Decepticons' reach. The armor came to rest on Earth, where it would be discovered in the present day, buried in Antarctica. It was freed from the ice by Starscream, but it went on to change hands several times over the course of the series, the Autobots and Decepticons stealing it from one another, until it eventually wound up in the possession of the Autobots' human friend, Miko Nakadai, who used it to kick Decepticon can just as good as any bot could. There was a notable contradiction in the story, though. When Exiles introduced the armor, it stated that it was an ancient weapon created in Cybertron's mythic prehistory by Solus Prime, one of the godlike original Transformers from the dawn of time. But in Prime, Starscream claimed it was of Decepticon design. Further ambiguity was created by the 2013 aligned continuity history book, The Covenant of Primus, which appeared to validate Exiles by detailing how Solus once created a collapsible suit of impregnable armor at the request of one of her siblings, Liege Maximo. But despite how similar they sound, the book never actually identified this suit as the Apex armor, leaving it unclear if they were intended to be one and the same. Unfortunately, this kind of vagueness and confusion can be common in the aligned continuity, and you just have to kind of roll with it. Whatever its origins, the aligned version of the Apex armor has inspired a couple of toys. First, there was the Apex Hunter armor, released in the Prime toy line in 2013, apparently representing the armor after being upgraded with an arsenal of ancient weaponry. A retool and recolor of the previous year's Bumblebee battlesuit toy, it could transform from huge battlesuit to vehicular battle platform, and came with a figure of the Decepticon Breakdown to pilot it. The second toy, released in 2025's Age of the Primes, alluded to the armor's origins as a creation of Solus Prime. This series included a figure of Solus's brother, Micronus Prime, who came with an exosuit based on the Apex armor. It transformed into a one-wheeled motorcycle for Micronus to ride, and, not unlike the original Apex armor, could also disassemble into component parts that became weapons and armor wieldable by any figure in the line. And as for the bot who started it all, in 2017, a new toy of Godbomber was released in Takara's Legends toy line. This version was a headmaster, a kind of transformer whose head disconnected and transformed into a partner minifigure, and it also featured a battle station mode. But even with these additions, it could still combine with the new Legends Ginrai toy into God Ginrai. The tie-in Legends manga explained that this was a brand new Godbomber, built to replace the original, but this one was a sentient living transformer, given true life through the energies of Shuta, Cab and Minerva. This was followed in 2025 by another new Godbomber toy in Takara's prestigious Masterpiece toy line, based directly on the original's appearance in the Masterforce cartoon, and once again able to combine with the accompanying Masterpiece Ginrai toy. Sadly, neither the Legends nor the Masterpiece toy has been repurposed by Hasbro to create a new Apex bomber. There is evidence that they considered producing their own original figure of the character as part of 2016's Titan's Return line under the new name Iron Apex, but it never happened. It's left Apex Bomber a pretty forgotten character, and seen the original Apex armor eclipsed in fame by the aligned version. But whichever version you're talking about, the Apex armor is proof that even on Cybertron, the old saying is true. Clothes really do make the man, or in this case, the bot. And those are the basics on Godbomber and the Apex armor. If you want more Transformers history and lore like this, I've got nearly 300 more episodes of it waiting for you in my archive. Subscribe and check them out. Plus, get early, ad-free access to each new episode by becoming a Patreon or a channel member.